Hello there, welcome to my weekly energy reading for this week beginning the 24th of October 2022. I'm Karen Turpin, energy coach, and this week I'm going to be talking about truth. The truth that is revealing, that energy kind of wave that wants to move forward and just reveal everything. For sure, there are loads of us awakened ones that can't wait for the truth of everything to be revealed, and yet we're really frustrated actually at why it's not revealing quick enough. And it seems that some other powers that be are holding back. There's a couple of levels of that apparently. There's one group of energy beings who feel that revealing everything all at once is too much for people. And then there's, of course, the other side that desperately are hanging on for it not to be revealed, right? Because they've got, personal gain. So there's all of this stuff going on, but I think generally we're in this time where we really can't hold the truth back. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But we've got Scorpio energy at the moment. That's pretty powerful. And we've got an eclipse energy. And I feel the eclipses, because they're kind of half in and half out, it really kind of lends itself well to this theme of truth revealing and yet being held back as well. So that kind of in the middle, maybe confusing a little bit, confusing energy. So when things start to reveal from within us, when it's time for us to have a growth period in our consciousness, more of an awakening, we've got to reveal things that are hidden within us. That's got to come up to be seen. So what a lot of people do is that they feel an uncomfortableness inside. Something's not working, like is it their relationship, or they've got health or financial things that are uncomfortable but they don't really want to deal with and look at. We can only shove that down and hide it for so long. At some point it's going to come up. We can think that our life can change if we ignore it. And certain situations around us might change that make it feel a bit more uncomfortable. But probably all we've done is got better at suppressing it so that we don't have to look at the truth. So, just flicking my pages of my notes here. On a global level, so many truths are being revealed. Now, in actual fact, the truth was always there. Never reported on mainstream media, of course, and that kind of continues, though we are seeing snippets here and there of mainstream news popping a few bits and pieces in here and there, kind of like a gradual reveal, if you like. But truthfully, everything was there right from the start. If you wanted to dig a little bit deeper, you could see it. So there's a lot of reveal right now, even beginning to hit mainstream news and news publications about the lies from the government and pharma about the tests that they never carried out, about the efficacy that was never there, about the side effects that they've covered up and denied. That's always been there, but it's starting to come out more. It's as if really this mind control spell that the population was under is beginning to wane. And so many people appear to be waking up from the dream spell, right? Or the horror spell is what it's actually been the last few years. A bit of a horror show, hasn't it? So as a hypnotherapist myself, an awake and aware hypnotherapist, this mind control was glaringly obvious to me right from the start, from January 2020, the way that they started to put this out across the news, the TV, it had all the hallmarks of a hypnotic process. So when you work with a client, even if you put them into just a light trance state, not even necessarily a deeply hypnotic state, just a light trance, there are certain steps that you have to take to put your client in a light trance to program their mind to believe a certain thing. Now, of course, as a therapist, we don't hypnotize people to manipulate them. We hypnotize them to improve something in their life that's not working well. So we would program them to believe that they are not a smoker. We would program them to believe that they don't drink alcohol. We would program them to believe that they are a confident public speaker or a beautiful dancer or singer. That's what we do as therapists. Except what I saw is that they were programming the whole population to believe that they needed to be in fear of something that's lurking out there, unseen. And people went into fear. They actually went into fight, flight, freeze, which is a psychological mode of being where they can't think clearly for themselves anymore because they're purely in survival, rushing to somebody who says, oh yes, I can protect you. And of course the government stepped right into that role, right? Again, that was a manipulation because they didn't have your best interests at heart, and they never have had. But fear itself is also a killer. It can keep you paralyzed. And so people were in fear of something that they couldn't see that was apparently lurking out there. And we don't really even know if it even existed, because science is now revealing that it was never isolated. That's a discussion for another day, but it's all out there. If you really want the truth, go and look, because it's there. So going forwards now, what's coming next? Well, we have to face up to some stuff. We have to face the fact that we've been coerced, programmed, lied to. And that's never comfortable, to discover that you've been lied to and you fell for it hook, line and sinker. So when the truth of that is revealed to you, that might even feel like a punch in the guts, because it's not comfortable. The repercussions of what we have bought into or believed will be felt ad infinitum, certainly pretty intensely over the next 10 years, but more so than that as well, when you look at what's happened, globally to people. So, that feeling when you've got involved in something and then you think, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be here, and you try and back your way out of it? Well, that's what many people are feeling now, and that will continue as more and more truth is revealed. It's like, oh my God, I believed that. How do I get myself out of that now? Well, it takes action. It takes action. It takes looking at yourself, looking at maybe even your part in that process of continuing that lie or belief, whatever. But there'll be stuff coming up within you, about you. You might have to forgive yourself. You might have to forgive other people for what you said or did to them. Big process. Can't go into every personal detail of that because it's different for each of us. But the point still remains, when you've got yourself into something that you've then realised is not the right place for you to be, it takes action to step back out. That could be a marriage, relationship, a job you signed up to, a contract that you've got yourself involved in that you're now realising, ooh, it's not the best. How do you get yourself out? Action steps. You can't just sit and expect it all to magically resolve around you. No, it doesn't work that way. Take the action steps, find that strength within you to sort out what you need to sort out. Follow your heart, listen to your heart, follow your intuition. It will always guide you in the right direction. Now, what else have I got here on my notes that I was going to talk to? Of course, the big reveal about the global financial system and what they've got planned for you next. Is your money safe in the bank? Is your pension plan safe? Is your job safe? Your home, if you've got a mortgage? It's very clear that they're trying to crash the economy. They're trying to make it so hard for people to pay their energy bills, to get food on their table. They're doing that. We're not doing that. We're suffering the consequences, but they're creating it. And in that as well is this identity theft, where, excuse me while I fiddle with my notes, the identity theft, where they are apparently hacking all these big companies and stealing your data or data. Well, are you sure that that's really happening? Yes, we're being told that these big companies that have our information are being hacked and our data is being stolen. But is it? Do we know that for sure? It's clear that we've been lied to by mainstream media and government at every level. It's clear they lie to us. Can we really believe that our data is being stolen, that these big companies that have our data is being hacked? Do we know that for sure? Is this just another attempt to get us into fear so that they can coerce us into the next thing that they now want us to do? Which is, of course, giving over full control of all of our information, handing it over willingly because we're so in fear and we think the only way to be safe is to hand everything over to them. Yes, full governmental control over everything that we do. So let's look at what's happening in government, because the truth of that's being revealed as well, all the lies. We have the revelation a few months back in the UK of parties being held in Downing Street or wherever during lockdown. Well, that revealed, and that was a shitstorm. Over here in Australia just recently, in the last week or so, we've got the reveal that one of the politicians that was involved in some crime administration has been having an affair with the leader of a bikie gang, or ex-leader, something like that. So clearly conflict of interest there all the way, but oh yes, they're politicians so they go ahead with it. But it's revealing now, and that's a good thing. We also have the reveal of politicians pushing Big Pharma whilst holding shares in the Big Pharma that they're pushing on us. That's a conflict of interest. It goes on everywhere. It's good that it's revealing now. Looks like a whole shit show out there, doesn't it? Well, how do we change it? How do we change all these lies and deceptions that is all geared towards taking our power away? Well, the only way we change it is to go through a massive shake-up on all levels: medical, political, education, banking, the whole lot. And as I mentioned in last week's energy reading, you've got to tear everything down before you can build anew. So we're in that process. So when you look around at the world and the shit show that's happening, it's actually a good thing. Please don't go into fear over this. It's all got to be pulled apart so that we can rebuild anew. And hopefully it'll be rebuilt anew by good people, conscious, awake people with a heart that actually cares for humanity. This stripping down, this pulling apart has already started happening. You know, biotech labs are being bombed to clear them out. You know, there is the revelation of the human trafficking and the mass graves in those countries that is now being revealed because somebody entered and actually had the guts to enter, firstly, and started uncovering what was there. But of course, the mainstream are going to twist that to their needs as well. So there's another one for you to dig deeper into if you don't already know it. The world is not getting darker. It's not getting worse. That stuff was always happening. It was just hidden. More light is getting in. It's coming in plasma waves onto the natural energy grid of the planet, not the bullshit climate change energy thing that they're talking about. The natural energy field, you could call it the aura, if you like, of the planet. That is lightening, brightening, as are we when we choose to become conscious. So we're bringing more light onto the planet. And that's where we can see more. And that's why people, you know, you could call them whistleblowers, are feeling compelled to reveal what they know. Maybe because actually they're going through an awakening where they just can't lie anymore, where they just have to speak truth. Maybe the consciousness of their heart is compelling them to reveal the truth. There are so many good things happening if you just have a look at them in this way. Perhaps. It's a little bit like, here's an analogy, very basic one, but it works. If you walk into a room that's pitch black, what can you see? Nothing, not much. It's only when you turn the lights on that you can see the fullness of what's going on in that room. And that's what's happening here. So as each of us grow and evolve, open our heart, bring more love in, commit to truth, that's when we get to see the darkness that's been here on the planet. So as more and more of us do that, we're shining the light on all that was hidden. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. The world is not going to hell in a handbasket. It already was there. We're bringing light to it and we're uplifting and moving it forward. So I feel very, very positive about the future. I know a lot of people are in fear, but please don't be. I really believe that we're moving into, we have great times ahead. Yeah, sure, we have to hold our shit together. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot today. That's me, down to earth. We have to hold it together inside, not go into, catastrophe mode. And for goodness sake, don't be programmed by the TV and government anymore. Think for yourself. It's becoming very clear who's aligned to who, right? The people that want to control you and take all your power away and your freedom and your rights, they're not aligned to God. God doesn't do that. God, he, she, universe, source, whatever you like to call that. I don't believe that God aims to bring suffering to people or stop them from having free choice, the right to choose. Free will and choice, remember? In spiritual circles, we always talk about having free will and choice. Well, when another power like a government comes along and tries to take that from you, surely you can see that's not of God. God doesn't take from us in that way. God speaks of truth, of growth, of expansion. But hold on to your hats, because as this truth reveals, it will be bigger and more shocking than you could ever imagine. But it's the only way that we can evolve into light. If you walk into a dark room and turn on the light and see a hell of a mess in there, what are you going to do? Close the door, walk away and just ignore it? Or are you going to start cleaning it up? Opening the windows, spring cleaning, chucking out the rubbish. That's what we're doing on the planet right now. You would do that in a room. You'd go in and you'd clear it up and you'd bring light and you'd decorate it and make it nice. And that's what we're doing on the planet, in a sense. So hold on to your hat. There's more stuff coming, but it's going to be good. Many years ago, probably 20 years ago, something like that, I made a declaration to God or to the universe that I wanted to see truth. I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to see the truth in everything in my life. And what do you think happened next? Yep. Everything in my life that wasn't truth fell apart. It was a bit of a shitstorm for a while. Everything I thought I had faith and believed in just revealed that there was lies and deception there. So it was a bit of a challenging time, I got to say, but I came through it all the better for it. Stronger, probably with more love in my heart, definitely with my eyes open, and I felt better. And this is, I believe, the process that we're going through right now on this planet. And remember, everything is a micro and a macro. So we can't just do it out there in the planet and not have any change in our life too. It's a micro and a macro. It reflects. So do your inner work. Get inside. Do the work. Face the things that you need to face. Forgive yourself maybe. Forgive other people maybe. But do the work. So if anything in this energy reading has triggered something within you that you need some help to process, please reach out to me or somebody else to support you. If you're intrigued by some of the things that I've alluded to in this energy reading but haven't gone into depth to, if you want to discuss more of what's happening on the global landscape, all of that, I am available to support you. I have created specific energy reading debrief sessions for this, because a lot of people are asking questions and want to go into a little bit more depth than I can do in a reading like this. So if you would like a personal session to support you through that, please reach out to me, just DM me, and I'll let you know how we could work together. So my phone's ringing now. I need to go, but that's covered it for today. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.